The presidential initiative Decent Life is of great importance as it has improved the lives of people in villages and countryside. The Economic and Social Development Plan for the fiscal year 2023-2024 has confirmed this, rendering the Decent Life as the largest developmental initiative in the history of Egypt and the whole world. In the second phase of the Decent Life initiative, which covers 52 centers comprising 1,600 villages with a population of approximately 21 million, the government indicated that targeted investments worth £30 billion initial appropriations have been allocated to implement about 620 water and sanitation projects, rehabilitate and line canals with a length of 1,740 kilometers, establish and develop about 3,000 school classrooms, and complete the development of about 66 hospitals. Within the framework of the state's strategic direction towards the development of Egypt, £150 billion were allocated in 2023-24 to complete the implementation of the targeted projects in the first phase of the initiative, including £52.5 billion for sewage projects, including the establishment of 167 treatment plants and 1,441 sewage lifting stations, and the implementation of 21.3 thousand kilometers networks, including the allocation of £28.4 billion to complete the development of electricity networks in 1,466 villages. The Decent Life Initiative reflects an unprecedented radical transformation of the Egyptian countryside by targeting the provision of the needs of Egyptian villages for infrastructure, public services, and the creation of ways to improve income and the standard of living for rural communities. El Kharga Center in El Wadi Jadid Governorate begins executing the second phase of the Decent Life Initiative. A meeting was held by the heads of the village units of the El Kharga Center and a number of specialists in various sectors. It is worth mentioning that Matruh Governorate was listed as a new governorate in the second phase, along with 19 others within the first phase. The second phase is expected to serve about 20 million citizens. The second phase of the initiative is being prepared intensively by identifying the lands, the projects planned to be implemented, and carrying out the lifting works and designs. The Decent Life program embodies elements of the concept of social and geographical justice. In the past, development benefits were often concentrated in specific segments of society and invested primarily in larger cities, while neglecting rural areas that suffered from marginalization. Thus, the program focuses the bulk of its investments in the countryside, which suffered a lot from marginalization. It's worth mentioning that the first phase has targeted 1,477 villages, and its overall implementation has reached approximately 70% across all projects, which amounts to nearly 23,000 projects. By directing significant investments to the rural regions, the program aims to address the historical disparities and foster social and geographical justice by ensuring that development outcomes are distributed more equitably among different segments of the population. The initiative works on ending poverty. It aims at providing sustainable job opportunities and transforming the countryside into attractive areas for investment, which contributes to increasing the income of rural people and creating job opportunities. The initiative also aims to provide all the necessary services and establish required facilities in villages, covering all types of basic infrastructure services such as drinking water, sanitation, natural gas, electricity, transportation and roads. It also includes facilities related to social development services like education, healthcare, youth programs, and cultural institutions. Additionally, the initiative aims to offer administrative and governmental services that rural residents need. On the healthcare level, the initiative of medical convoys, an activity plan by the Ministry of Health, serves a number of centers on a periodic basis. The number of centers reached 52 centers in the last period. These convoys have several tasks such as reaching citizens' homes and providing the necessary treatment service and medicines, and also transferring cases that call for surgical interventions to the nearest hospital. The Decent Life Foundation has announced the launch of a series of extensive social dialogues for all segments of citizens in rural villages in preparation for the second phase of the presidential initiative. These dialogues began in the centers of the second phase, starting with the Beira Governorate. They aim to introduce the presidential initiative and listen to the demands and opinions of citizens before implementing it within the centers and villages of the governorates of the second phase, following the directives of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The Decent Life Foundation revealed the size of achievements made so far in projects across all sectors, noting at the completion of 94% of school works, 95%, government complexes works, 92% of agricultural complexes, 90% of development of health units, 90% of the drinking water, 63% water stations, 61% of the work of lining the canals, 54% for the construction of new health units, 51% of residential buildings work, 45% drainage, 42% hospitals, 38% treatment plants, 29% natural gas, 33% of fiber optic network works, 86% of ambulance units works, 85% of youth and sports centers, 78% of irrigation bridges, 77% of sanitation work, 64% of home connections. The Decent Life Initiative reflects an unprecedented important transformation of the Egyptian countryside by targeting the needs of village for infrastructure and public services, and creating ways to improve income and leading a decent standard of living for rural communities.